Kowski.
Thank you, Mr. Plummer. I'm going to shortcut what I normally do because you are now entering senior school and you're going to be hearing a lot from me in the next few years. But basically, to complete your schooling in the NT, you have to pass something called the NTCET. And that consists of 200 credits. And this is something which we call the pattern. Now basically, one subject for one semester is worth 10 credits. Starting in year 10, Mr. Plummer's mentioned the personal learning plan. That is worth 10 credits. And it puts into your plan just over there. Once you get to year 11, there are some compulsories that you must do. You must do 2 semesters of English, 1 semester of mathematics. And in year 12, to complete, you need to do a number of subjects. If you want to complete just the NTCET, you've got to do 3 subjects at year 12. If you want an ATAR, you've got to do 5 subjects at year 12. And basically, we fill in this pattern. This appears on your student file, front cover. And as you work through 10, 11, 12, we fill the pattern up for you, with you. Now, if you want an ATAR, you're definitely keen on going to university, your subject choices next year, year 10, and in particular year 11, are very, very important. Now, we try and keep options open as much as possible, but you have to be responsible yourselves as students and decide, yeah, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be an engineer, and what do I need to do to get that particular pathway? So you need to think about that. Now, to help you, we have our careers people, and we also have our vet people if you are looking towards that sort of area. You can complete your NTCET with vet subjects, and we have a number of students doing that. We have students this year in year 11 that have actually got their 200 credits by doing vet courses, and they can actually leave school a year earlier. Okay? Now, in the future, I'm going to be boring you with all of these details, so I'm going to stop right now, and if you have any further questions towards the end, please come and see me. Mr. Miller, thank you.
I'll walk in front of the speaker. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Richard Milne, and I'm involved in the religious education program, which highlights the nature of our school. We are a religious school, and we're not unashamed about that, or ashamed about that. The course in year 10 for our students requires students to complete 6 units of work, 3 units in one semester, 3 units in the other. Each of the units is 6 weeks in length, which is approximately 12 hours of religious education. And in those 6 weeks, we do grade those students, not on their faith, not on their spirituality, but on their knowledge and understanding of the course. Next slide. So we start off with Big Bang Theology. We look at Big Bang and compare it with biblical scripture, and we look at how science and religion can interconnect. Laudate Si is on the environment, the Gospel of John is on the actual figure of Jesus. The Made in the Image of God is about human sexuality and relationships. Church in the world, what is the church and what's it doing today? And then finally on sacramentality, about God, grace, faith and belief. Each of those have got a knowledge base, and that's what they get. They get a short assessment task of usually about 400 words. And the last one. The following year, they have an opportunity to do what's called the SACE, Spirituality, Religion and Meaning. It's been written this year, and it's going to be operating in the following year for year 11s. And it's a course that, for the very first time, SACE have written for Catholic schools. So most unusual that a government organisation or like SACE is actually writing for Catholic schools. But there's such a demand for it from the 30 schools in Adelaide, 2 in Singapore, and the 4 schools here in the Territory, that SACE have acknowledged our presence for the class. Won't worry about that. Next. That's it? I'll hand over to Ms. Zoe.
Okay, so as well as being transition coordinator, I'm also the personal learning plan and the work experience coordinator. So the very first subject that the year 10s will do next year for SACE is the PLP. So what's really important is that it is a subject that is completed in both South Australia and the Northern Territory. So there's this word that keeps getting, or this acronym that keeps getting floated around, NTCET. So the Northern Territory Certificate of Education and Training is very similar to the SACE. So SACE is the South Australian Certificate of Education. So whether you're going to stay here in the Northern Territory or maybe go to a school in South Australia, PLP is still compulsory. So it's something that happens no matter what. It's a semester-long stage 1 subject, so year 11 means stage 1. So if you see those different things, stage 1, year 11, stage 2, year 12. It's worth 10 credit points and has 4 assessment tasks. To meet the requirements of the NTCET, students must achieve at least a C grade in the PLP. The PLP is probably the subject that is well, I'm going to say it's the most relevant, but I probably shouldn't, but it is most relevant to you, the students. It is all about you. It is not about the teacher. It's not about what your parents want you to do. It is about you as a kid, your choices, your future, your pathway. So within that, the students learn about the 7 general capabilities and how these are applied both inside and outside of the classroom. So you can see them along the bottom there, things like literacy, numeracy, ICT, critical creative thinking. I'm not going to go through all 7. They research and explore career paths of interest, including the many pathways to get to these careers, such as vet courses, traineeships, apprenticeships, work experience in tertiary education. We look at all of the options. We go through the fact that there are different ways for the kids to get in, that if they don't get that ATAR, we can, which is your Australian Tertiary Admissions Rank, if you didn't know what that one meant, another acronym, real fun. If you don't get that one, we look at the back pathways to get to that. So maybe doing some extra study when you finish with your certificate courses, extra vet courses, seeing what you can do at school to prepare you for those pathways. So don't think that there's only one way to get to one job. That's not how it works, okay? And we show that to you. We set personal and academic goals for their senior year, so goals for them to work through in year 10, 11 and 12, and we look a little bit outside of that as well. My year 10s at the moment, some of them are saving for their first car, okay? So they're talking about how they're actually saving that money, what they're doing, their strategies to do that. Some of them are aiming for very high ATARs, so they're telling me the ways that they're going to reach those goals. It's really exciting. We complete work experience with a chosen host employer in year 10. What's really cool about that is that MacKillop is the only school in the Darwin area, that has fully completed work experience for the last 2 years during the COVID period. So we continued with that. We made sure that our host employees were aware of everything that was going on, and the kids were aware, and you were aware as parents. But we are the only school to actually have 2 full cohorts go through with work experience in the last couple of years, which is really exciting. Some of our kids have also been offered traineeships and apprenticeships from that as well, which is a really cool thing. They then reflect upon their achievements and struggles throughout the semester and refine their goals and career pathways. They look at the things that went right and the things that went wrong, and we work out what to do from there. What's really important is PLP is all about the kids. It is all about them. We look at their pathways and we start filling in that really cool pattern that Mr. Frascotsky showed us before, and we start to plan that pattern. And that's kind of all about PLP, and there'll be lots more stuff posted on the website and things as well if you're interested. I'm now going to pass over to Mrs. Binu Roy and Mrs. Emma Cooper from Inclusion Sport.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mrs. Binu Roy, and Emma is not here this evening. She's busy with her little ones. So we do a lot of work in inclusion, and some of the stuff that we do are we help students when they are stressed. We create learning plans for students so that they can do their best when they are at school. We also provide help with their assessments. If they are struggling with assessments, we help them complete them. And we also help students to identify the right courses for them if they are stressed. especially in senior years. We help them identify the best pathway for them, work with them, identifying their strengths, and choosing the best pathway for them. And we always work with parents, carers, students, and other agencies to support students to achieve their best when they are in school. And we also provide strategies for students and teachers to help them achieve their best in completing their schoolwork during school time and school years. We also support, sometimes senior years can be really stressful, so we give them a quiet space, maybe for 10 or 15 minutes if they want to come down, and if they're a bit overwhelmed, they have a quiet space to come and calm themselves down before they get back to the class and do their work. So these are some of the help that we offer for our students. Now I would like to pass on to Ms. Sweeney, the VET coordinator.
Good evening, parents, students and colleagues alike. My name is Patricia Sweeney Fawcett and I'm the Managing Director here of VET, the RTO Careers and Flexible Learning Space. So as I say, you're very welcome this evening. The college here offers students the opportunity to avail of vocational education and training. And we all know that that is an integral part of the student curriculum within the work skills and to boost the economy. The skills that we have here are the practical skills. It will ensure that the students are work ready for when they actually leave school. The beauty of the VET sector is that it is completely industry driven. So they dictate what we deliver to the students in order for them to get the jobs. And the other amazing aspect is that there is a wide range of qualifications that are available to our students. Next one, go to the next one. So these are the offerings that MacKillop Catholic College have within the school here. We're very, very blessed to have our own RTO. So you can see that we offer conservation and ecosystem management, and I see a few familiar faces that are already doing that course here. We offer Certificate 1 in Workplace Skills. We offer Certificate 2 in the conservation area. We offer Creative Industries, which is a major skill gap at the minute here in the NT. We also offer Certificate 3 in Screen and Media. And lastly, we offer Certificate 2 in Applied Digital Technologies. So you've heard lots, you want to go back? I'm sorry. You've heard lots already about Stage 1, Stage 2 and points. So this just gives you an indication. Stage 1, you get 20 points. Stage 1. So the higher the qualification, you get the Stage 2 points. Yeah, so all these points go towards your NTCET that was already mentioned. So just these are the expectations that we have for our students that come to that space within the school. So they need to come with that work-ready attitude because it is a very, very different delivery method than the academic or the school delivery. It's very, very different. It's competency-based. They need to come appearance, so they need to come, if they have to wear high vis, they have to come in their uniform, otherwise they'd get sent home from work if they didn't have their high vis, if that was the course that they were taking. And we need them to have a certain level of professionalism because it is job ready. And if they get those three things mixed, then they will be a success, no question about it. Go ahead. So we also offer school-based apprenticeships, and again, we've got a large number of students this year who are actually doing school-based apprenticeships, and they're doing them in a range of different industries. And again, we just have the opportunity for students to get into the industry that they're interested in and be a step ahead of those who are leaving at year 12. If someone knows that they're really, really interested in, let's say, land conservation management, and they're coming out of year 12 and they've already had 2 years experience in it, who's going to get the job? A year 12 or someone who's finished year 12 and has 2 years experience of the industry that they're wanting to go into? And that's the beauty of VET, because that's where the magic happens. Thank you.
my job mainly is to support your beautiful students that are looking at doing vet courses outside of the college. So we offer vet courses here at Nicole, but there's also quite a lot of courses that are offered outside of the college, and here are some of the more popular ones. So at the moment we've got CDU and the Palmerston Training Centre that we use a lot to send our students to. They're located in Palmerston. There's been probably 50 current Year 9 students that have popped in and have started applying for vet courses for next year. And there's one right there. So that's really exciting that they're coming in and having those conversations about Year 10 and looking forward into Year 11, Year 12. So like I said, some of the popular courses are baking, engineering, construction, health. There's kitchen operations, automotive's very popular, beauty, retail. So there's quite a lot for the students to choose from. I would recommend that you come and see me at the end or get in contact with me ASAP to start applying, because applications are closing for the students that want to do vet outside of the college. And in Year 10, students can also start looking at school-based apprenticeships. So to give you an example of what that might look like, we've got a student doing an apprenticeship as a mechanic. So he goes to work for 2 days a week, and then he comes to school for 3 days and does his math, English and RE subjects. So it's, things become very flexible as you get more into your senior education. University is not for everybody, but part of my role is to support and guide students in their careers, in their pathways, whether it be vet pathways, going to university, supporting them in apprenticeships or traineeships. We also help with interviews, getting resumes. Not everyone does Facebook, but we do have a MacKillop Catholic College courses and careers Facebook page that I often put up information on jobs, job opportunities, different courses that come up for students. So I would encourage you to like that page if you can. And just briefly we have a flexible learning centre where a lot of the students that undertake their courses come into the centre, have an opportunity to catch up on schoolwork, assessments and classes that they've missed due to vet, because we do have students that are out of college up to 2 or 3 days a week, so it gives them an opportunity to be supported in that space with full-time teachers. So if your child would like to do any vet courses for next year, I encourage you to come and say hello afterwards, and I can give you the paperwork. Thank you.
So I'm also standing in for Mrs. Emma Chater today as English coordinator. I'm also an English teacher here at MacKillop. Have had Year 12s and stuff for a while. So with English, the NTCET requirement, so that fun pattern that Mr. Fraskolski put up on the board before and was talking about the 2 compulsory semesters of English. You must get a C for both of those semesters of English, at least C or higher, in order to be eligible to achieve your NTCET. Once you've completed and passed, English at Year 12 is not compulsory. So next year, when you're in Year 10, is really that preparation for moving into Year 11 to make sure we get those grades that we really need. And your teachers are really supportive with that. Just make sure that if you are looking at going to uni or have certain pathways outside of school, that you might need to do Year 12 English. And what Mr. Fraskolski said earlier was kind of that backwards planning. So look at what subjects you need to do in Year 12 to make those choices about some levels of English that we might want to do when we go into Year 11. And this is something that we kind of talk about now. So once we get into Year 11, after we've done Year 10, we've done really well, we've figured out what kind of English we like, there's 3 different options. There's Essential English, there is English, and then there is an optional English pre-literary studies, but it is kind of the same as the English one. With Essential English, I'm just going to read the part that is bold and underlined there because it's the most important part. Essential English is for students who are planning a career and a range of trades and vocational pathways. So it's English that prepares you for the workforce, it prepares you for moving outside of school if you don't want to take English into more of that kind of university level. Then there is a General English course, which prepares students for Stage 2 English subjects and further study in tertiary education. So we've got Essential English and English, and then you can do English pre-literary studies. So it is the same as English in that there's the same assignments, they're worth the same amount of percentage, that kind of thing, and it prepares students for Advanced English Literary Studies course in Year 12, which is the top English that the kids will do if they're looking at being lawyers or creative writers or going into media and journalism or psychology. So that really tertiary base level English. And then when we move into Year 12, this is what it looks like. But for Year 10, the most important part is going through and really preparing yourself for those Year 11 courses, because the Year 10 course is very similar to the Year 11 ones. So it's working with your teacher to be able to make sure that you're doing really well and you're getting those grades, which we help you do. So I'm just going to move on now to Mr. Sardner, who is the mathematics coordinator.
Good evening and welcome. Senior maths is, some of it is a bit scary, I know, but it's not really scary, so just relax on that. And we have a number of courses offered to cater for different students. We offer three courses of maths in Year 10, advanced maths, pre-general maths, and pre-essential maths. And these courses are designed to look at the future pathways and future career pathways, so that you can do whatever pathways in the future. You can go to different courses and also different, engineering or medicine or etc. etc. Depends on your interest. We are here, and the teachers are also here to help you, and we will direct you and we will place you in the right classes. You can come and talk to your teachers or myself, so it will guide you where you should be going. Advanced maths, the future pathways are, some of you could go on to that. We have stage 1 and 2, stage 2 methods course, or specialist maths courses, or you can go on to stage 1 and 2 general maths. And as we heard earlier, stage 1 maths is compulsory, and you need to pass the course, that is C or higher. So second semester you can drop. Mostly we prefer that, maths is a numeracy requirement, is compulsory for students to achieve higher in every area of your life. To be successful in every area of your life, we say that you continue maths 2 semesters in stage 1 and stage 2. There are some other future courses, if you want to be really successful, in different area of life. So you also that booklet with some of you can have a look at it. Health science, physical sciences, mathematical sciences, statistics, accounting. So people also go along on the advanced math studies where this leads to methods course and small specialist maths. Some of the career opportunities. So today you make the decision, or tomorrow or in the coming days, in the next few days, decide on what you want to become in few years, in 5 years down the road. So make a choice. So that will help you to some of these great opportunities ahead of you. There is leave all the doors open so that you can choose whatever you want to do. That's what I would say. So don't pick and choose something which will make it easy for you. So the general trend is that you make a choice. So I don't want to work really hard, so I just go on this pathway. This is okay for me. So just go and have a chat with your parents or chat with your teachers and see what you want to really become in few years' time. Pre-general maths leads you to stage 1 and 2 general maths courses or essential maths. And this is for tertiary courses requiring non-specialist backgrounds. Some of the opportunities that is ahead of you. Essential Maths is for career in a range of trade or vocational pathways. If you choose to go in that way, that will lead to stage 1 and stage 2 essential courses. And that's the size pathways for you. So you can come and see me at any time. I'm here 24/7. I mean, during the day. So I mean, you come and see me at any time. Have a chat with me, and yeah. So I'll talk to your teachers for any help if you need it. Thank you.
Hello. I'm just used to using my PE voice. Can I ask all the Year 9 students to stand up? I know it's a big ask. So you put your feet out and then you bend your pelvis forward and all of a sudden you're standing. Awesome. Okay, all of a sudden they're awake and that was just standing. Let's try one more thing. I know I'm short, so at the back it might be hard to see me. See if you can copy my movements real quick. And sitting down, please, now that I've shamed you in front of everyone. Believe it or not, that had coordination, cooperation, and some of you, concentration. Some of you just stood up, and that was something. So that is some of the many reasons why they keep health and phys ed compulsory in Year 10. And believe it or not, just then, I could see some basic things. So people putting their hand up, for example, they're usually showing their confidence. So those sorts of things could be embedded into an issues response assessment, which they'll have in Year 10. That was a group activity, which could also be linked into some of the activities they'll have opportunities to do in senior child studies. It was a practical, basic activity. It would be great if we turned some students into top athletes, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen on a large scale. So we're just asking for participation in health and phys ed. And within that physical participation, they're also improving their concentration, coordination, group work. In semester 2, what we allow in Year 10 HP, even though it is still compulsory and under CARA standards, is we start to align it into their senior pathways. So we allow students in Year 10 HP to choose, and I've just realised there's 5 options. So they get to choose a class that is either child studies, health, phys ed, fitness, or outdoor ed associated. Even though it's still under the HPE curriculum, it's starting to give them a bit of a taste. Something that I'm really excited to announce is that we're looking at another option on top of what is compulsory HPE and bringing back what we've had here a few years ago, which is the Cert 3 Sport and Rec and the Cert 4 Fitness. And that would start in Year 10 and it would flow into Year 11 because they're, you know, Cert 3 and Cert 4 level, so you can't really knock that off in 1 year. So in our compulsory Year 10 HP, we're leading it towards these 3 subjects, particularly they've got a lot of interest, but also leading it towards our certificate options. Yep, next slide. So these certificate options you can do on top of the Year 10 HB compulsory. This one here is the Cert 3 Sport and Recreation. Being at the Cert 3 level, it's leading towards jobs such as Leisure Services Officer, Recreation Officer, Sport and Recreation Admin Officer. It could also be within the community recreation, which is becoming quite big at the moment following COVID. So there's a lot of health and recreation venues, whether it be the swimming pool, whether it be running adventure parks, whether it be running something like NTIS. So there's a lot within the sport and recreation, quite broad, but certainly getting a lot of boost at the moment following the COVID in terms of mental health development. So that's Cert 3 Sport and Recreation as an option.
the other option is a Cert 4 in fitness. Now this would be leading towards jobs such as a group fitness instructor, so somebody who runs things like the Les Mills classes at your gyms. Your children could be qualified by the end of year 11 in that course to do that job. And then the other one is a personal trainer, which I think most of us understand what that job involves, but it's not just necessarily working in a gym. A personal trainer could be a boot camp instructor. It could be working with specialist clients like the elderly, or leading into like the physio sort of pathway. So these two certificates are optional, and they run across 2 years, and by the end of it you're qualified to work in, if it's a Cert 3 Sport and Rec, in a whole range of facilities there, and if it's a Cert 4 Fitness, it's leading into working as a personal trainer, which could be individually your own business or adjoined to a gym or a boot camp style thing. Yeah, so there are two options that we're very excited to offer. And if you are interested, we do need to have the numbers to run them. So at the end of this, if you can come and see me and sign up if you're interested in those, I'd really love to offer them again now. I'd now like to pass on to Mr. Joseph to speak all things science.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Joseph, Coordinator Science. Here we offer science as a compulsory subject. We have 2 semesters we have 4 separate units. In semester 1, we offer biology and chemistry, and we have 4 assessments. And in semester 2, we again offer 2 units. They are physics and geology. These 4 subjects or units are compulsory. Along with those units, we also have stage 1 scientific studies as an elective, which means if you choose this subject, you will be able to get 10 points for your patent. You will be able to complete the course in year 11 itself as a stage 2 course, which will enable you to complete the patent earlier on. If you have any questions regarding science subjects, I'll be at the back. Thank you.
Firstly, it's fantastic to see so many parents and students here. My name's Mitch Mussel, and I'm in the coordinator of the Humanities faculty. We teach a range of subjects. Once upon a time would have been called social studies, SOS in middle school timetable, but in senior school we adopt the term humanities, and there are 3 main subjects: history, geography, legal studies, and for some students an option of going to business. The one thing I'd really want to highlight is sometimes humanities seems to be this book-centred, abstract subject. We're making a real effort, especially in COVID times, to look at the real world with the students and explain some complicated things that are evolving and constantly changing, and we take that responsibility very importantly. Why study humanities? There's very important and vital research skills that the students can learn and apply in a wide range of jobs and in their when they go to university, or that they carry in their life as a citizen in our community. Modern history, students will in year 10 learn about what's happened in the world in the last 100 years in Australia and across the globe. At year 10 level, they look at the development of World War II and major events that have led after the establishment of United Nations, human rights, and so There are two major assessments. One is looking at the causes of World War II in Year 10 history, and the second one is the war in Australasia and the impact that it's had on Australia. In Year 10 geography, the major unit there we look at is global inequality, looking at how countries have developed in different ways across the world, rich and poor, and its impact on human well-being. Again, we look at a lot of current news articles and try to make it a real living thing that's important to students. Civics and citizenship. To the next slide. Yeah. We're currently working on that program at the moment in class, and we're looking at human rights. And again, this is strong. We're at the moment tying that strongly into the COVID pandemic across the globe and government responsibility. What's our own individual responsibilities, the role of government, and trying to promote discussion based on facts and good science. I'd like to now invite the acting language coordinator, Ms. Lee.
Hello everyone, my name is Bi Huang Ku. I'm the Acting Languages Coordinator. Well, learning a language is not easy, and states do recognize this as well. So for those students who want to follow the ATAR pathway, it is important for you to know that learning a language, you will get extra bonus points for your ATAR score, and it will help to boost up your points if you want to get to the course you want. So for those students who are currently learning a language, very well done, and I hope you continue the Year 10. And then in stage 1, we continue stage 1. Stage 1 continues in Japanese or Indonesian. Okay. So for those students who have done a semester language in Year 7, if you still remember how to say ni hao, or selamat siang, or sayonara, you're more than welcome to pick up the language again. Okay. Or choose a different language. Yeah. So in 2022, we offer a new language, which is French. Yeah, and we also have Chinese and Indonesian and Japanese in beginner's level. So you can pick a new course as a beginner's level. You don't need to have any background knowledge for the language. Yeah. So I'm gonna play a video next for you. It might answer most of your questions about the credit points and the assessment types. So can you just...
Ni hao.
Selamat pagi.
Konnichiwa.
So you're looking at studying a language at senior school? You've made a good choice. Not only do we have many different options at McKillop Catholic College to study a language, but if you're looking for some bonus ATAR points, studying a language could be a good option for you.
You will also be eligible to attend a study tour of the language if it falls on the year you are studying the language. In stage 1, you will study 2 semesters of your language, which will give you a total of 20 credits, 2 lots of 10 credits. In stage 2, the course is a 20 credit course. These credits are awarded at both the beginner stream and the continuous stream levels.
At McKillop, you have the choice of studying Chinese, Indonesian, or Japanese in the senior years. If you started your language studies in middle school, this makes you eligible for the continuous stream of that language in senior school.
In stage 1, you will complete the following assessment tasks. You complete an investigation where you research a topic, present it to the class, and write a reflection. You will also have a conversation with your teacher, complete a written piece, and also a reading or listening piece.
In stage 2, you will complete the following assessment tasks. You will complete an in-depth study on a topic of your choice. You will complete a written piece, a conversation, and also a reading and listening piece. This is an examinable subject, so there's also a written and spoken exam. The reason why I chose to study language at McKillop was not only is the language faculty and teachers amazing at the school, but I was really interested in learning a new language, and Japanese really opened up that opportunity for me. Throughout the subject, I've really enjoyed learning about Japanese culture alongside the language, and then being able to apply that knowledge through the school's amazing international program. If I were you, I would definitely study a language at McKillop. There are so many fun and exciting opportunities for whichever language you choose. I know for a fact that Japanese has positively influenced my life, and I hope to pursue the language next year throughout university.
At Year 10 in Stage 1, you can also pick up Chinese, Indonesian, or Japanese at a beginner's level. This means starting right at the beginning of the language and progressing quite quickly to be efficient at a fast pace. You are even eligible for the beginner's course if you have not studied the language for 2 years prior to the year you begin the course.
In stage 1, you will complete the following assessment tasks. You will present something in language to the class. You will have a conversation with the teacher, complete a written piece, and also a reading piece.
In stage 2, you will complete the following assessment tasks. You will present something in language to the class. You will have a conversation with the teacher, complete a written piece, and respond to a text. You'll also complete a reading and listening piece. This is an examinable subject, so there is also a written and spoken exam.
The reason why I chose to study language at McGill was because Chinese was always a language I wanted to study. I plan on going to China to experience the culture, food, and so much more. Through this subject, I really enjoyed working with my Chinese teacher because she is really friendly and helpful. I also enjoy putting my language skills to the test in real context at the Chinese Museum and the Chinese Temple in Darwin City. If I were you, I would definitely study Chinese in the senior years because it is a really fun subject to choose from.
As you can see, studying a language in the senior year has an option for everyone. If you would like more information, please see Ms. Slinger-Landon to talk about what options would suit your pathway or pattern.
再见.
Sampai jumpa.
Sayonara.
I'd like Miss Ezzy to come up and speak about the arts. Good evening, everyone. So, as Mr. Plummer said before, you should think about choosing subjects that you really like, and not subjects that you think are going to get you a higher grade. And he can attest to that, in that he knows a student who chose a higher level science subject when he potentially should have done an arts subject and would have enjoyed the arts subject in Year 12 much more than the science subject. So I know there are a lot of students, the science coordinator back there is going, boo! So I know that there are quite a few students in this cohort that are interested in the arts, so visual arts, dance, drama, music, and I would highly recommend that those students choose that whatever arts subject that they like in Year 10 to give them the skills to do really well in Stage 1 and Stage 2. So Year 10 arts subjects builds on the skills that they already know and builds towards that Stage 1 and Stage 2 subjects so they can achieve high marks. So it's better if you achieve an A in an art subject than a C in a science subject. I hope that's correct. Yes, I can say that. So yeah, so if you are interested in those subjects, please choose one of those subjects. Thank you. Who's next? Mr. Dennis. I think the same thing can apply to you pretty much.
Yeah, we're all about fun.
I must talk about Mari's people.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about technologies. So digital technologies and industrial technologies. So you've got that slide. Boom. Okay, so in design, technology, and engineering, we have these three traditional subjects. I'm not going to talk about them very much. However, just to say about in Year 10, we're focusing on skills, workshop skills, and production skills, and into Year 11 and 12, where we're talking about more a focus on the design. And through to Year 12, when our students get to choose their own their own product to produce. So I see it as a continuum, starting in Year 10, finishing Year 12. Really like students to have that grounding in Year 10 to get the best marks in Year 12. And the second part of my subject involves digital technologies. There we are. Now there are two different streams, which I would like to point out. So I've got, once again, it's a design, technology and engineering course, which is digital communication solutions. And there are just 4 examples of the types of things you would be doing in digital communication solutions. The other one, digital technology, that comes from the information technologies curriculum, and it looks at the examples of hardware, robotics, etc. And so students can do both of those streams if they're into IT, and all of these subjects will get you to university. They'll also get you a really good job if there's the sorts of things you're interested in. And the last thing I just wanted to mention on behalf of Mrs. Butt is food tech. So through into Year 11 and 12, 10, 11, 12, we run food and hospitality. And students will obviously, once again, working on skills in year 10, getting more sophisticated as they go through to year 11 and 12. And at the end of year 12, they're producing meals and they're feeding it to the teachers. So we like that. And it's, so they've got an opportunity to impress us and not poison us too, I guess. Yeah, okay. Okay, if you have any questions about digital technologies or industrial technologies or food tech, please come and see me. Thanks.
So Mr. Butcher is the Outdoor Education Coordinator. He's not here today, he couldn't make it, but if you have any questions for him, please email him and he will respond as promptly as possible, or let me know and I will write down your details and get him to contact you. Mr. Dimmick spoke for Ms. Butt, and that is the conclusion of our discussions with you from our heads of department and from our faculty areas. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We understand that that was a lot of information. We get that. At the start, you would have seen some printouts of the PowerPoint. That PowerPoint will also be uploaded to the college website, which you can then access if you were not able to get the paper copy of that. This has also been recorded as well, which will be uploaded if you want to look back or if you need to share it with anyone else. The biggest thing over the next few years is it is your choice. It is completely up to you what you do as a student at this college, and we will support you in any way that we possibly can. And remember that plans can change. I was going to be a marine biologist. Clearly not doing that right now. You are not fish. Okay, so things change and we help you with those changes. That is what we're here for. We will stay behind for a little bit if you'd like to speak to us. Obviously, you heard before that if you're really interested in some things that are new, you might need to see some particular faculty members. One is very enthusiastic over there. So please come and ask us questions, and if there's something else you want to ask and you're not ready to ask it tonight or it comes up later, please email me. You all have my email. I've sent a few about this event over the last few weeks, and we're happy to get in contact with you. Thank you so much.